hall.
Managing Director, Easy Ayurveda Hospital. We are deeply honored by your presence and grateful for your valuable time. And special welcome to Mr. Kiran Bide sir, CEO and Director of Dynamic Remedies Private Limited and co-founder of Madhavbaug. We welcome you, sir. And we welcome Professor Dr. M.S. Krishnamurthy, Professor and Head of the Department, Rasa Shastra by Shajja Kalpana, Alvas Ayurveda Medical College, Modibidri. We are truly honored to have you with us this evening. We shall now commence the program with traditional lighting of the lamp. So may I request our dignitaries to kindly come forward for lighting the lamp, and I request everyone to stand up as a mark of respect. Thank you all. I now invite Dr. Arpita to render the prayer.
कृत्वा नवदृढसङ्कल्पं वितरन्तो नवसन्देशं घटयामो नवसङ्घटनं रचयामो नवमितिहासं कृत्वा नवदृढसङ्कल्पम् नवमन्वन्तरशिल्पिनः राष्ट्रसमुन्नतिकाङ्क्षिणः त्यागदनाकार्ये कर्ता कृतिनिपुणामयमविषण्णा कृत्वा नवदृढसङ्कल्पम् प्रगतिपथा नहि विचलेमा परम्परां संरक्षेमा समुत्साहिनो निरुद्वेगिनो समुत्साहिनो निरुद्वेगिनो नित्यनिरन्तरगतिशीला कृत्वा नवदृढसङ्कल्पं वितरन्तो नवसन्देशं घटयामो नवसङ्घटनं रचयामो नवमितिहासं कृत्वा नवदृढसङ्कल्पम्.
Thank you, Dr. Arpita. To formally welcome the gathering and introduce our distinguished speaker, I now invite Dr. Sudarshan CH, Chief Medical Officer of Easy Ayurveda Hospital, for introducing our guest.
Namaste, good evening. I am Dr. Sudarshan. A very warm welcome to all of you. Today we have gathered here for this interactive session to learn, share ideas and feel inspired. It's my great honor to first introduce and welcome our chief guest, Dr. Rohit Madhav Sanik sir. He is an MBBS physician with a fellowship in cardiac rehabilitation and over 20 years of experience in healthcare leadership. He is the visionary behind Sampurna Hridaya Shuddhikaran, the world's first Ayurveda-based therapy for heart failure to be published in the Lancet. His work has shown measurable improvements in cardiac outcomes like ejection fraction, exercise tolerance, and reduction in symptoms such as breathlessness and edema. Under his leadership, Madhavbaug has grown into one of India's largest integrative cardiac care networks with more than 360 cardiac prevention centers and multiple hospitals backed by clinical data from over 50 lakh patients. He has also played a major role in supporting Ayurveda research and uplifting BAMS doctors across India and beyond. Sir, we are deeply honored to have you with us today. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome and introduce Mr. Kiran V. Bide. He is an engineering and management graduate and the co-founder of Madhavbaug, which has successfully scaled into a large network of cardiac clinics and hospitals. He is currently the CEO and Director of Dynamic Remedies Private Limited and has recently rejoined Madhavbaug as the CEO of its manufacturing division. Beyond healthcare, he has also ventured into the food industry with brands like Medcut and Cat and Guard and founded Punascha, Marathi's first subscription-based digital magazine. His interests also include Marathi literature and financial planning, in which he has formally trained himself. Sir, we warmly welcome you and delighted by your presence. Now, I take this opportunity to introduce and welcome Professor Dr. M.S. Krishnamurthy sir. He is an MD and PhD in Ayurveda and serves as the professor and head of the Department of Rasashastra and Vaishajya Kalpana, as well as a senior consultant physician at Alvas Ayurveda Medical College and Hospital, Mudabidar. With 17 years of clinical experience and over 14 years in teaching, he has contributed immensely to Ayurveda education and research. He is a recognized PG and PhD guide under RGUHS and has guided numerous postgraduate scholars. His areas of expertise include skin diseases, gastrointestinal disorders, psychosomatic disorders, arthritis, asthma, infertility and neuromuscular conditions. He is also a recipient of the prestigious Bharatiya Vijnana Parishad Puraskar for his research contributions in Ayurveda. Sir, it's a privilege to have you here. A heartfelt welcome to you, sir. I also extend a warm welcome to Dr. Janardhan V. Hebbar, sir, founder and managing director of Easy Ayurveda Hospital, who will be conducting today's interview. He is the main supporting pillar of our institution, and without his vision and guidance, many of these initiatives would not have been possible. Sir, we look forward to an engaging and insightful interaction. Welcome you, sir. I also take this opportunity to warmly welcome Mrs. Katyayani Hebbar, Director of Easy Ayurveda. Ma'am, we are delighted to have you with us today. A sincere welcome to all the professors from various Ayurveda colleges. Your presence adds immense academic value to this gathering. A special welcome to all the Ayurveda interns and PG scholars who have joined us from different colleges. This session will surely be a great learning opportunity for all of you. Also, I warmly welcome all the doctors and all the staff of our hospital. Your constant support makes every event successful. Once again, I welcome each and every one of you. Let us all make the most of this wonderful interactive session. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for that warm introduction. We now move to the most awaited part of this evening. I request Dr. Janardhan V. Hebbar to conduct the interactive session with Dr. Rohit Sane. We look forward for an insightful session and an inspiring session.
Hello. Hello. It's off. Hello. Hello. Sir, can you please stop? Hello. So. Hello. So, first of all, I welcome all of you to this function. It is a very interactive and easygoing function. It is not like an academic activity or anything. So remember, you are in Easy Ayurveda Hospital. It's not difficult Ayurveda Hospital. And I will be interviewing Dr. Rohit Madhavsane, and while I ask questions and he answers, if you have your own questions, please raise your hand. We will give you an opportunity to ask the questions to you also. So ultimately, the whole funda of the program is that you all should get benefited with this interaction. So feel free, ask any question that you have, then we will take it. And the voice is audible to everyone? Off with it. Dr. Rohit Sanak. And uh, so, so let us begin from your childhood. Like a Mumbaikar child growing in Mumbai all through the from birth.
Am I audible? Not to that level? Now it's okay, right? Okay. So, about my childhood, I would always like to put this point on the table that in my childhood, I was not at all a studious student. I never liked to study at all. I used to play video games, I used to play those computer games, and I used to enjoy my life. So I am an MBBS graduate. I have done my fellowship in cardiac rehab from Apollo Hospital, but the reality behind it was, because I was not a studious student, I was a student of payment seat in my college. So my dad had paid a huge amount of donation to get me into that seat, and after that point in my life, things changed. The day I realized that my father had paid such a huge amount in the college as a donation, that hurted me a lot. And that was the point which made me realize that I am supposed to study, at least now, when my father has taken so much of pain to put me into this payment seat, into MBBS, when I had no qualification or no that level of intelligence to get into MBBS kind of seat. At that moment, things changed in my life, and I started studying to a certain extent. But as soon as I entered into MBBS, I started studying. The whole life turned around me, and that was the point when I realized that human body can be learned in a superb, entertaining manner. That we used to play games in my college. We used to play games with the bones and the muscles. I used to teach the dissection during my MBBS first year to my batchmates, when our teachers didn't come in for the classes. That must be happening in your college also. That used to happen in the year 1994 also. That should be happening in 2024 also. So nothing's going to change. But it depends on you. How much do you want to study? How much do you want to generate that amount of intelligence? Because at the end of the day, it's the patient who's going to give you the actual marks. It's not the teacher, it's not the internal or external examiner. It's the patient who's going to give you marks. So I had did that kind of mistake in my earlier life of not studying. I am sure that you people must not be of the same category of what I was, and hence I consider today's interaction should be quite healthy, because I consider that if at all you ask me questions, then and then only you are attending this session today. If at all anybody of you doesn't ask even a single question, that means either I am not of that caliber to answer your questions, or else you are not of that caliber to ask me questions. So let's see who's more stronger.
So after the first of all, why MBBS? Your father is a renowned Ayurveda Vaidya in Mumbai. In fact, we have a common friend, Dr. Ashlesha Rawat. She has done internship under your father, Vaidya Madhavbaug. So, coming from an Ayurveda family, why MBBS?
Okay. That was a well calculated thought from my father's end. He was an eminent Ayurvedic physician. He always wanted me to learn allopathy and then come back to Ayurveda so that I would understand Ayurveda much better than a normal Ayurvedic graduate. That was his thought. Hence, he put me to MBBS and planned that after completing my MBBS, I should learn Ayurveda. But as he got that admission for me in MBBS, gradually at that time there were only 3 years. I think now you have 4 years in your academic part. So the third year I was the topper in the college in surgery, and I was supposed to get a free seat in the government college for surgery. So a payment seat guy getting a free seat in a government college, just imagine how much happy I would be at that time. So I had called up my father over at that time. I spoke to him that I am the topper in surgery, I am getting a free seat in surgery, I am going ahead. He clearly said, no, you are not supposed to do surgery, you are supposed to come back and learn Ayurveda. I was absolutely clueless. Okay, this is something different. That first, when I was not of that caliber, he sent me for MBBS. Now when I have reached to that level of understanding in the modern science, he is asking me to come back to Ayurveda. So I was completely jumbled, but I had to believe my father, because he was the person who believed me in spite of I not being of that caliber. He took that admission for me in MBBS. So now it was the time that I was supposed to repent for whatever he had done for me with those pains. And hence I took over on that day itself the same decision that okay, I am not going ahead with the surgery seat, I am coming back and I will be learning Ayurveda. When I came back and started learning Ayurveda, to be very honest, I did not understand anything. I tried to go through these shlokas and all those things, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. In allopathy, we are usually taught about that whatever you see is whatever exists. I used to ask this question that where is Vata, where is Pitta, where is Kapha? How do I believe that this is actually over there? I struggled a lot to understand the basic concepts of Vata, Pitta and Kapha. But later on, when I started learning these Ayurvedic texts to that extent, I got to understand these are all concepts which can be measured very well. Like for example, if at all you go back into the text, it has already been mentioned that Kapha as well as Pitta can be measured in Anjali Pramana. Rakta, Rasa, Mamsa, Majja, Asthi, Shukra, everything can be measured in Anjali Pramana. And if at all those scientists had measured everything in Anjali Pramana and documented those things at that time, that means our science is not yet that well developed so as to reach to that level. So they were a lot more ahead of us, and we are now supposed to take our science to that level. That inspired me to get into Ayurveda and learn more deeply, and hence even after doing my MBBS, I started learning Ayurveda because that is like a Makhana's gold. You must have seen that movie maybe, in which as you enter into that cave, you explore new things. So now also when I was talking to Dr. Krishnamurti, I realized there were several things which I still don't know after 20-25 years of I practicing Ayurveda. So there is a lot more to learn about, and I am sure you people will also agree to that point.
And then why the fellowship in preventive from Apollo Hospital?
Okay, okay. To be very honest, when my father had told me to learn Ayurveda, I was a dying heart surgeon at my heart. So when I was doing my internship in a civil hospital, the surgeons over there, they used to leave those complicated surgeries also to me to do it alone in the surgical wards as well as in the operation theatres. I was a very, very fond student of those surgeons, and being a die-hard surgeon at heart, I wanted to do something which is interventional and not just do something with the herbs and just prescribe medicines on the paper. I wanted to do something with my fingers, with my brain, and that is the reason why I started with Panchkarma, learning and actual practical for those patients, whatever I used to refer to my Panchakarma clinics. At that time, I realized that maximum number of patients coming to me were cardiac patients. And I realized that if at all I can combine the knowledge of allopathy and Ayurveda together, that could create a huge amount of science in itself. And there is where I realized I should learn more about cardiology, and there is where I joined Apollo Hospital in Delhi, and I learned the fellowship in preventive cardiology, the cardiac rehabilitation science, and tried to help the cardiac patients with a combination of allopathy and Ayurveda.
So your practice was mixed with Ayurveda with allopathy from the get-go, from the beginning itself.
Yes, it could be framed in this way, that my practice was pure Ayurveda with the science of allopathy. Like for example, Abhyanga, Snehana, Svedana, the procedures that you usually do it. My question to my father used to be, in a heart patient, if at all you must be knowing, Frank Starling heart law. What does it say? Is venous return to the heart will equal the cardiac output. And in cardiac patients, when the heart pushes out the blood from the heart into the vessels, which is called as stroke volume, through the aorta, when the blood ejects out from the aorta, a blood column comes back due to negative pressure. Until that time, the aortic valve has already closed, and this blood column cannot go back into the ventricle, and this blood column then flows into the coronary arteries. So the heart gets its own blood supply through the coronary arteries during diastole and not during systole. Now, how does this signify is, that means if at all the venous return is good, the cardiac output would be good. If the cardiac output is good, then the blood column which is coming back as the aortic valves have closed, more amount of blood will reach the coronary arteries. So I had to improve the venous return to improve the cardiac output, and hence in Abhyanga, Snehana, Svedana, I used to ask my father that why is it being done, the process of Abhyanga, why is it been done in Anulom Disha, and why is it not been done in Pratilom Disha? There is where I did a small trial to understand the effect of Snehana on the Pratilom Disha, which I call it as a centripetal oleation, as the name of that procedure. In Ayurveda, it would be called as Pratilom's Abhyanga. Now, the things that came out from this study was, due to Pratilom Snehana, the venous return was found to be increasing on a cardiac output monitor. So if the venous return is improving, obviously the cardiac output or else the stroke volume will improve. So this was the first thing that I realized, and then this inspired me to still go into the details and understand each and every smallest thing about Ayurveda and try to take it ahead. So such kind of small things in your life, in your practice will be very, very important. Hence I asked you to ask more amount of questions, because I was a person who always used to ask questions to my teachers as well as my father. Many a times I got those answers, many a times I never got those answers, but I never left those questions. I went into the detail and tried to search the answers from wherever I could. So, such small things of Ayurveda give me an idea about how Panchakarma can be helpful for a cardiac patient to reverse the diseases. The second thing that I realized was the Svedana. This Svedan is nothing else, but you might be aware about this, that about if at all the Svedana is performed for about more than 30 minutes with a temperature beyond 39 degrees Celsius inside the Svedan Yantra, the efficacy of Svedana is to be measured with the amount of weight loss that happens for that patient. If the patient doesn't lose 500 grams of weight post Svedana, according to me, the Svedana is not complete. The patient is supposed to excrete out sweat, that is salt and water, from the largest organ of your body, that is called as skin. So skin is the most important organ for the kidney diseases, for the lung diseases, as well as for the heart diseases. If at all you excrete all the toxins from the skin through the sweat with the help of Svedana, that's going to be an easiest part for reversing heart disease. Why? Because while sweating out, what happens internally is parasympathetic system gets lowered down, sympathetic system gets activated, and you vasodilate the blood vessels first and then you vasoconstrict the blood vessels later. And this cycle keeps on repeating, which excretes out maximum amount of sweat from your body, and that leads to cardiac conditioning. So if at all the blood vessels are being trained to vasodilate and constrict every now and then, the heart will have to recondition itself for the same. That is the best thing that happens during exercises also. So, Svedana, the second process, helped me to understand this. And the third most important process, Basti. Basti process was the most insightful thing for me, because as you must be knowing, few years back, Ayurvedic drugs were licensed to be administered through IV and IM injections. But few years back, the government abolished those licenses. It was that era when those injectables were not allowed in Ayurveda very, very recently, and that was a point where I started thinking that how can I administer a medicine which would enter into the circulation as fast as possible. Because if at all you put any of the medicines through your oral cavity, the medicines will have to go through the intestine, through the liver, through the blood-brain barrier for the brain, as well as it will have to go into the lymph and then enter into the cardiac channels. That was a long journey, till which the bioavailability of these medicines, these herbs, disappears. So over here, what was important, a mechanism by which the medicine could get absorbed immediately in the blood was the thought that was there in my mind, and the best procedure that came to rescue was Basti. If at all you are aware about it, that whenever you give Basti, the experiments done in Jamnagar, the experiments show whatever medicines you administer through Basti, in 90 minutes, that active principle reaches the peak in your blood. For example, if at all you give Triphala oil as Basti, you would see gallic acid, the active principle in Triphala, the gallic acid increase, or the peak of this gallic acid coming in your blood on the 90th minute. All these experiments helped me to understand that Ayurveda can be much more stronger than heart disease, as well stronger than allopathy to treat heart disease. So there is where the whole belief on Ayurveda went on increasing, and that made me practice Ayurveda deep-rootedly.
But what is your research process? Because all this information is not available readily in any form of books. So how do you come up with these ideas?
Okay. Usually, according to me, research is nothing else but your questions being answered by yourself. If you leave any question unanswered, you will never reach to wherever you wanted. Like for example, my question to myself was, does these medicines given through Basti get absorbed? If at all they get absorbed, like an allopath, I can think about implementing Ayurveda in the same form of allopathy. It might be right, it might be wrong. That doesn't matter to me. What matters whether the patient improves or not. So at the end of the day, these questions, when they irritated me at every moment of time, nowadays you have Google with you, and now Google se bhi badkar, you have ChatGPT. You don't even have to search anything. The ChatGPT does 90% of the job for you. The question that you put into the ChatGPT is going to be very important. So according to me, research is an attitude. It is not a task. It is not a job. It is not a department. It is the attitude that you should have. Understand every concept in detail. You would get into all these questions answered. Somewhere or the other, somebody must have done that job for you. And if at all nobody else has done it, tell me, I will do that job for you. Because if at all you have those questions which you don't find an answer on Google or ChatGPT or in your books, then it is the job of people like us who should do those kind of activities and research kind of work to answer each and every question that comes to our mind. So the research comes in many a times. When I had this first research published in Lancet, wherein a friend of mine, there were several cardiologists who were my friends, and they used to ask me the question every time, the same single question: does Ayurveda actually work? Was a simple question asked by these allopaths every time. To answer these questions, the only thing that we can do is publish a research paper. Because those people don't understand anything other than a research paper. So if at all you actually want to go beyond allopathy with your concept, publish a research paper on every small topic. So whenever I used to go to publish the research paper and present the research paper in front of the cardiologists, they used to ask me questions. Obediently, obligingly, I used to tell them, at this moment, I don't have the answer for your question as of now, but I promise you that when I come next time, I'll be answering this question with the next research paper. So in the same manner, now till date, we have published more than 150 research papers in topmost cardiac research journals of allopathy and not into Ayurveda. Because Ayurveda has to be taught to those people who don't understand Ayurveda, and hence we had a strategy of publishing all these research papers in the modern research journals, and gradually we came up with a pile of answers for several questions, which answered few of our questions and few of your questions. So research has to be an attitude, and it is not supposed to be a part-time or a full-time job. It should be in over here. Everything should be answered with a definite, typical parametric answer. If at all you don't have parameters in your answer, that answer is subjective. And subjective answers have no value in today's world. Hence, everybody of you should think about publishing at least one research paper which has some parametric answer on some specific question.
I feel that for a traditional Ayurveda person who has done BAMS and then MD and all, to stand in front of a group of allopathic doctors and to convince them or do work, it's a little bit difficult because we have not been trained in that path. We have been trained that Aptopadesha is the core of main source of knowledge. So we have to respect the Shastras, and then we have to believe it, and then once we believe, then we understand and then implement. This has been in our genes. So I feel that you are a blessing to the Ayurveda community in that you are one of us standing for the cause of Ayurveda in front of allopathic doctors. And it's not that we have to convince them. We are self-sufficient. We can continue our own work and be happy with our universe, like Ayurveda universe. But for the greater good of the humanity and to reach all these Ayurveda principles to everyone, it is very important for us to talk to the people on the other side of the aisle, show the research, do the research, show the research, convince them. So it is in a way a following of Vasudhaiva Kutumbikam, that if they start believing, many more patients who would otherwise will not have access to Ayurveda will have access, because the allopathy doctors will also start practicing or at least referring those patients to us. In that sense, I congratulate you and thank you for doing our job. Thank you. So the practice of Ayurveda started, and then Khopoli Hospital began. What was the idea behind that?
Okay. So as I told, I was a fond lover of allopathy, because allopathy is in my blood. I have spent about 5.5, 7 years learning allopathy, and I would never forget that love of allopathy. And that was the reason behind that, in spite of my father asking me to learn Ayurveda, I used to practice allopathy with my mother's clinic, slowly and gradually. My father never knew that. But in the year 2004, when my father suffered a heart attack and I had admitted him in the nearest ICU, those 17 days I was with my father in that ICU, with all the seniors, with all the juniors, with all the techniques, with all the technology, everything. And in spite of all these things being there for his rescue, those 17 days, my father suffered 2 heart attacks in the ICU, renal failure and a stroke. And I was helpless. I couldn't help my father. And on the 17th day, I lost my father. Those 17 days in my life were the worst days of my life, and the frustration that was building in, there were 2 ways that I could have vented out my frustration. The first one was on the hospital, on the doctors, on the staff, that usually people do it. But the second way was on the disease which killed my father. I opted for the second option, and since that day, my war against heart disease began. That day, I promised to myself that every patient I reverse from heart disease, I would say sorry to him that I couldn't help you, I'll be helping others and saying sorry to you every moment that I can. That day and till today, there have been several such patients who have been reversed from heart disease, and reversed from heart disease on the documented reports. The coronary artery angiography before the therapy, coronary angiography after the therapy, and both these reports have been documented and published in the modern research journals, that yes, Ayurveda therapy is far more beneficial. So, this whole thing began in the year 2004, and the actual knowledge that I gained about cardiology was in that 1.5 year, from 2004 to 2006. I had completed my MBBS long back, I had completed my fellowship in cardiac rehab long back, but I was never a serious student. I used to enjoy my life, and पढ़ाई हुआ तो हुआ, नहीं तो छोड़ दो. But that 1.5 year, that study that I did was for my questions to be answered. The day you start studying to answer your own questions, that is going to be the actual study. If you study to answer the questions asked in the theory and the practical examinations, that is not a study, that is just a time pass. But that 1.5 year, when I studied cardiology, I realized that in cardiology, 5,000 paged book called as William Hurst The Heart. When I studied Ayurveda, I realized that smallest shloka of Ayurveda explains this 5,000 paged book of William Hurst. And the shloka was Dushayitva rasam dosha vigunatam hrudayam gata nana badha prakurvanti rudrogantam prachakshate. This was a simple shloka, but this explains everything about cardiology. If at all you understand this shloka with various different dimensions, you will realize that what depth of understanding this one shloka has. There are several such shlokas which can be studied in depth, and every time we read, there will be a new meaning coming out from the same shloka. There is where I realized that Ayurveda is so powerful, and my father always wanted me to learn Ayurveda, but he had to sacrifice himself to make me learn Ayurveda, and there is where the whole study began in the year 2006, when I realized that this whole science can be implemented in a big setup of a hospital. The first hospital we started in Khopoli, that's about 60 kilometers from Mumbai, in a eco-friendly area, and that hospital was named as Madhavbaug because my full name is Dr. Rohit Madhav Sane. So the whole knowledge that I gained, for which my father sacrificed his life, the whole organization is been devoted to him, because every now and then when the patient reverses from his disease, whether it's diabetes, whether it's blood pressure, whether it's heart disease, every now and then the patient reverses this disease, we say sorry to him that now it's our duty as an Ayurvedic physician to treat every heart patient, because allopathy has now agreed that heart disease is a lifestyle disorder, and lifestyle repair, lifestyle modification is the only way to reverse heart disease, and allopathy doesn't have any knowledge about lifestyle modification. It's only one science. When I have learned allopathy, I practice Ayurveda, and I teach in a homeopathy college. So, when I have learned all these three sciences, I have realized that it's only Ayurveda which has the power to modify the lifestyle and reverse him back from the heart disease. So that's the most important point that every Ayurvedic physician should be proud about, that it's only you who can help our country from the menace of heart disease. Because in some more years, heart disease is going to spread so rapidly. In these last few 5-7 years, you must have seen that youngsters also suffer heart attacks. So now it's our job, it's our moral duty to help our nation and prevent their diseases from reaching to a complicated phase. So that's how the first hospital at Khopoli began, and from there, students like you who practiced that knowledge in our hospital, when they gained a good amount of knowledge, then they started with their own centers, which they named as Madhavbaug, and now we have a network of 360 such clinics in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Goa, Karnataka, Delhi, Chhattisgarh, and so on, and 6 hospitals, about 110 beds right now, and in the next 12 to 15 months, we will be 350 beds, and in the next 3 to 4 years, we will be about 1000 beds and 1000 clinics. So that is how Ayurveda need is being expected by our nation. So everybody of you has a huge amount of set of knowledge that you can implement on your patients and help our nation to free from heart disease.
Thank you, sir. And those who are interested in learning about the Madhavbaug treatment protocols and preventive cardiac treatment and diabetes care. We at easyayurveda.com we are selling those courses. You can undergo the course. This is like an online self-learning module, and after that, if you want, I can talk and arrange so that you can visit Kopoli and learn practically preventive cardiology there directly as well. So, and with the organization growing so big, and many people work under you, and many Ayurveda doctors and all, like what is your management style?
Okay. The first management style is, as you just mentioned, there are so many doctors who work under me. They don't work under me. They work along with me. And many a times, I learn a lot from them. Whether they learn from me, I don't know. But I learn a lot from them. That is my management style. Every time we have an hierarchy, we have an inverse kind of hierarchy, that I am answerable to my staff. If at all I work more than my staff, I will be an idol for them. I start morning by about 5:30, I end my night by about 11:30. My phone is on for 24 hours every day, every night. I get 2 calls at least, managing some other emergencies. Those doctors call me at any moment of time. I am supposed to answer their call in first 2 mobile rings itself. So this is the style of management that I try to implement, because I will expect my doctors to give the same kind of service to my patients. Management is all about just like COVID. COVID was so much, it penetrated the population to such an extent. Your good deeds will also penetrate in the minds of your staff whenever you start an organization. So an organization is never to rule anybody. An organization is to serve somebody. So the style that we run an organization is with a single thought, that every patient who comes to us is our mother or father. The same love, the same affection that we show to our family members, we should show the same kind of affection and love to each and every patient. Now, while implementing this, you people must have observed that a patient is a person who is the most impatient. Who doesn't have patience is the person called as patient. So now you should with the patient. What do we train our doctors is to be friends with a patient. Because if at all you must have seen in your past life, you must have not implemented things which your mother and father has asked you to do, but you must have done all those things which your friends expected you to do. If friendship can make you change your life, then behave as friends with your patient, because the patient has come to you looking out for a ray of hope. He has not come for any kind of cure. He has just come for a ray of hope that I might get cured because of this doctor. So if at all you carry a lot amount of hopes in your pocket, the patients will stick to you. But if at all the doctor himself or herself lacks hope, or in other terms is hopeless, then in that way the patient would never stick to that doctor. And if at all the patient doesn't give you amount of time to recover from the disease, you will never get an opportunity to reverse that disease. So as a management person, I always try to keep the environment healthy and happy. My staff, if at all my staff is happy, they will keep my patients happy. That's a single point way that which I manage the whole organization, which has more than 2,000 of direct staff and more than 5,000 to 6,000 of indirect staff associated with the organization. So one single point agenda is to spread love in the staff. They will spread love in the patients.
And while hiring BAMS doctors or MD doctors, what qualities do you look in them? Like if I were to apply to Madhavbaug or any other center, for example, what qualities in this day and age one should definitely have?
Okay. The most important qualification or the most important quality which we don't look at while hiring a doctor is their knowledge. We don't look for knowledge.
That's a great relief for most of us.
What do we look at is whether this doctor will be able to have a good communication with the patient or not. Knowledge is gathered during your practice, in your experience with the patient. Knowledge will follow. It will keep on growing. It will never stop. It will grow along with your experience. What we look at is whether you are ready to give your sweat and blood to the patient, and whether you have that hopes in yourself that you are the right person sent by him for that patient. If at all you feel so, you are the right candidate to be with Madhavbaug. Because knowledge is the last thing that is required to treat a patient. If you elicit or if you try to ask few questions to me about Ayurveda, maybe I might not be even able to answer 1 out of 5. But I have the passion, I have the belief that yes, Ayurveda is the answer, and I am sure that learning more, reading more, speaking about it more, understanding more will increase the knowledge. What is important is the passion within. If you are that passionate to actually help the patient reverse from his disease, you have the chance of becoming the best ever doctor in your whole life, whether you join Madhavbaug, whether you don't join Madhavbaug. Just have that patience and the passion within yourself.
So you see a lot of Ayurveda doctors practicing in their clinics and all, day in and day out. So may not be necessarily in Madhavbaug, like outside also. You come across people like us. Do you see? You see any obvious mistakes that we are doing in our practice which we can correct?
To be very honest, I am not that qualified to identify anybody's mistake, because everybody has their own style, everybody has their own experience. You must have learned several things from the patients, and that is what you are implementing. So according to me, nothing is wrong. Whatever you must be doing, you have learned it through your hard work. So there is nothing wrong, there is no mistake. But yes, what we can do better is documentation. Many a times we forget to document each and everything. That documentation is going to be the most important thing. When people ask me that what are those reasons that in spite of allopathy being originated hardly 250 years ago, and Ayurveda being a science originated 5,000 years ago, and still allopathy is the first line of treatment. When people ask me, what is the reason according to you that Ayurveda has not been the first line of therapy? I see three major things, and those would be the things that we can improve. The first thing that we all should concentrate is on reach or availability. If you go out from here and search for Ayurveda hospitals or clinics versus allopathy clinics or hospitals or shops, what do you think will you find more? So the reach or the availability of services defines the factor for a patient to believe upon. There is a phrase in Hindi, जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. If at all we all start practicing Ayurveda in different clinics, and we boldly put Ayurveda practice on our boards, the belief gradually will increase. So the first thing is the reach and availability that we are supposed to work upon. Ask your friends and families to put on that board that we practice Ayurveda. That's the first thing. Second thing is collaboration. Collaboration means when I was learning my allopathy, in that era of 1994, there was no pathological test available. Nowadays, the pathology tests which are done so routinely for anything, the CT scan, the MRI, the X-rays, at that part of time, those things, Dr. Krishnamurthy will agree to me, those things were not available at that time. No pathological test, nothing. Even though there would have been a pathology test, that would have been 100, 200 kilometers away. But allopathy was very, very clever. It knew that diagnosis of a disease is more important than the treatment of the disease. And beyond diagnosis, what is more important is prognosis of the disease. What is the difference between diagnosis and prognosis? Diagnosis can be done only once. Prognosis can be done every now and then, like a simple HbA1c. When HbA1c was invented, it was called as a diagnostic parameter. that if at all your HbA1c is seen beyond this, you are a diabetic. The intelligent, clever businessmen over there, they converted this diagnostic parameter into a prognostic parameter and asked the patients to do it every 3 months. So now the funnel for the doctor increased many folds. So if at all, you must be aware about patients when they come to you. They are many a times with the diagnostic reports. So allopathy was very clever to build that sales funnel that would drop down the patients to them. So that is called as collaboration. The asset of all these investigations that allopathy calls itself the owner of those, it is not allopathy. These are all allied sciences which have collaborated with allopathy. They can collaborate with Ayurveda also. That is what Madhavbaug has done. Every patient, when he comes to the hospital or the clinic, this patient is being diagnosed and prognosed on those modern parameters which the world has already taught the patient for. And due to this collaboration, coming up with these 360 centers and 6 hospitals, 110 beds, and in the future about 1000 beds and 1000 clinics, I don't think so it is going to be a challenge if at all we start collaborating with the allied sciences. Like Ayurveda has lot more allied sciences than allopathy. Like you have Jyotish Shastra, which allopathy doesn't have. You have Manas Shastra, which yet allopathy is struggling hard in psychology. There are so many different things that Ayurveda can come up with. But you will need an attitude of collaboration. So that is the second point. And the third most important last point that I think is very important, that every doctor of you can do it in your clinics, is going to be publish at least one research paper of yourself. Now, why is this important? Because if you go onto Google, is there anybody in this hall who has not served Google at least one time in your life? Nobody. So the marketing engine for the patient is Google. And that is the best is Google search. Now what happens is, consider a patient surfs on the Google for piles therapy. What do you think will come the first? Whether the allopathic science will come first or whether the Ayurvedic science will come first to that patient? Why? Because they have documented those things very well. Consider, if at all, everybody of you publish one single research paper and have your own individual website speaking about Ayurvedic treatments. Google will be forced to show Ayurveda to that audience who's looking out for some therapies. So, according to me, what do you do as a mistake? I don't know. I am not qualified to identify your mistakes. What better you can do is these three things. One is the reach, that you can pass on to your friends and have that kind of visibility of your clinics. The first one is reach. Second is going to be collaboration with the allied sciences. And the third one is going to be publishing your work digitally, either on the social media or else on the Google. So if you do these three things, job is done.
And do you feel these modern drugs that are coming into the market like Ozempic, now GLP-2 and GLP-3 level of drugs are coming? Somebody takes an injection once a month or once a week and they start losing weight and all. And with the AI being implemented too much into the modern medical research and also the new drug development, new treatment modality development is accelerating worldwide. So do you think that as a threat to Ayurveda that there is competition
Okay.
and how do we survive?
According to me, there is no threat to Ayurveda. Why do I say so? Is, as we speak about Ozempic, everybody must be aware about this new anti-obesity drug Ozempic. Have you ever gone into the history of Ozempic? The history says that Ozempic is a GLP-1 agonist. Now, what is this GLP-1 agonist? Is an enzyme which stops your hunger. Is called as a GLP-1 enzyme, which is secreted in your gut, some from your liver and some from your lower intestine. So this GLP makes you not feel hungry. So Ozempic is a drug which is a GLP-1 agonist. It will increase the job of this GLP so much that even though you have a sight of your food, you will throw out everything. And patients who have undergone GLP agonist therapy, they have seen 30% loss of their muscle mass during their weight loss. The best example of Ozempic adverse effect is our beloved Karan Johar.
Yeah.
So earlier, what was his face looking like, and now this is what he looks like. So Ozempic is full of adverse effects, but Ozempic or else the GLP-1 agonist is nothing else but an Ayurvedic drug. There are several such Ayurvedic herbs which will work like GLP-1 agonist and not as worst as that of Ozempic. The best lifestyle modification technique which will increase the GLP-1 agonism is chewing the food as much as you can for 32 times before you gulp it is the best ever GLP-1 enzyme secreting area, your oral cavity. So if you ask your patients to chew their food as much as they can, GLP-1 secretes like anything. But obviously patients would not count while chewing the food. They want some kind of shortcuts. And we also, as our generation, will look out for shortcuts. So, if at all you are looking for a drug in Ayurveda, which is going to be a GLP-1 agonist, is few minutes back, when we saw the experiment, the sour buttermilk or sour kanji. So kanji is the best ever GLP-1 agonist. The GLP-1 agonist idea came up from vinegar, which is a simplified form of kanji. It would not be a complete kanji, but a simplified form of kanji. Any kind of vinegar, like for example, if at all you use draksha serve, it's nothing else but a self-generated alcohol form of draksha, of grape, which in modern form could be called as grape vinegar, is the best GLP-1 agonist. If at all you talk about apple cider vinegar, it is the best GLP-1 agonist. So any kind of sour preparation which has a self-generated alcohol is going to be GLP-1 agonist, and that is nothing else but every asava and every arishta of yours which has self-generated alcohol will be a GLP-1 agonist for you. So I would rather say that these things are not the competition for Ayurveda. They are just robbing away the knowledge of Ayurveda. The reason behind it was you did not claim your own property. Hence somebody came in and grabbed away that land from you. Same manner in the history. Are you aware about the best acting cardiotonic agent of allopathy, which is called as digitalis? And digitalis is nothing else but a foxglove plant called as rutpatri in Ayurveda. If you are aware about the worst acting anti-hypertensive drug in allopathy called as riserpine, which was banned, that is nothing else but sarpagandha. If you ask about the multi-billion-dollar industry of statins, that is nothing else but a fungus growing on the red rice, which again comes into your kanji. If you talk about the best acting anti-platelet agent ecosprin, or else aspirin, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry, that is nothing else but a bamboo plant that you use in your Ayurveda. If you talk about the best acting anti-cancerous drug, vincristine, vinblastin, nothing else but sadapuli from your Ayurveda. You talk about every drug in allopathy, it has a base from Ayurveda. I rather see allopathy as a modernized form of Ayurveda. That is also Ayurveda. In some more decades, allopathy will start speaking the term of Prakruti and Vikruti, because now they have graduated speaking about personalized medicine. And personalized medicine is nothing other than the Prakruti and Vikruti. So in some more years, they will again parameterize and measure the Vata, Pitta, Kapha, Rasa, Rakta, Mausa, Asti, Majja, Shukra, everything they will measure. And they will give you tools to measure. So the British have left our nation, but we haven't left them yet. We are still dependent on their tools because we have decided that we will not do any research. We will stay at home. जो आराम से मिलेगा वो खाएंगे. If at all you people are real Ayurveda die-hard fans, work on these basic concepts and you will take Ayurveda to a very different level that allopathy will always salute for.
And how did you come up with the concept of diabetes reversal? Now, you in the world, like probably Madhavbaug was the first institute to talk about that. It was a big taboo subject, but you persevered through. And now there are daily 5 new startups and 5 new apps coming for diabetes reversal. It was probably in the Drugs and Magic Remedies Act, diabetes is there still. Allopathy people who are making fun of us, talking about diabetes reversal. Now there are allopathic doctors running Facebook ads on diabetic reversal. What made you to think about the reversal?
Okay, so a patient of ours who was a diabetic but had been admitted with us for her heart disease treatment. When she got cured from the heart disease and her reports came back to normal, and then when she came back to her home, and after some more days when her sugar peaked up, at that time she complained against us in a daily newspaper that Madhavbaug treatment is non-efficacious because my sugar spiked up. In spite of she being treated for heart disease, not for sugar. At that time, the news media asked me to answer publicly in the newspaper to create some masala around it. But there is where we answered that as a doctor, it is my moral duty to make you completely disease free. At this point, we have helped you only to reverse your heart disease, but give us some time. I will come back with a treatment to reverse your diabetes also. That spiked up the thought of working on diabetes reversal. Now, while learning about diabetes reversal, allopathy, I had read all those books from allopathy, everything spoke the same, that give this medicine, give that medicine, all those things, and nothing about reversal. But when I went back to Ayurveda, and when I understood the whole Ayurveda samprapti, because samprapti bhanga hoga, to rog disappear hoga. So when we went back and understood the samprapti of prameha, like in Rudro, what has been mentioned is chintyanam atichintanat iti rasavahini dushyanti. That was the stress which had led to heart disease. But in Ayurveda, in diabetes or in praveha, it was not spoken about chintyanam atichintanat, but it spoke about diet. In Ayurveda texts, it was mentioned that navannapanam gudavaikrutam dadhini gramya udaka anupa rasaha payansi kafakrutsa sarvam. All these reasons are the ones which will increase the chances of prameha in this individual. That gave us a simple idea, just to create a diet chart which doesn't have these things. So the whole world was open to me to select food items without these things. We selected those things from each and everything that was mentioned in over here, that diva swap will again lead to kapha vruddhi. So such simple lifestyle modification tricks and the food that was explained in Ayurveda that you should not do, and what should you do, that has also been explained, like barley, yavadhanya is the best ruksha dhanya which can help the diabetes to reverse. So that principle helped us to understand the basic principle of reversal. We created a diet chart, we recruited the patients, we did a trial, we saw that yes, this diet chart is working to reduce down their sugar drastically, and the same diet chart got converted into a diet kit, and the diet kit became a tool to reverse diabetes in a click of the finger. So there was no rocket science, no huge amount of study, nothing involved into it, just one simple shloka. Ayurveda is that powerful, we just have to believe in it. The day we came up with this trial, we came up with this diet kit, and this diet kit is now the hottest selling kit in the region, because it becomes easy for the patient. It's about a 5-6 kg diet kit, It is packed every day का खाना उसमें packed है. सुबह का नाश्ता, दोपहर का खाना, शाम का नाश्ता, रात का खाना, चाय, soup, everything is there. The patient doesn't have to go hunting for anything. He just has to carry the diet kit. Every day he is supposed to open up that pack, cook the food, eat it. That's done. So once that is done, the patient's blood sugar is been monitored every third day. So the same diet kit also helps the patient to lose the extra fat that has been there in his body. So in a month, this patient loses about 3 to 4 kg of his weight faster than Ozempic. This diet kit helps to lose weight by about 3 to 4 kg in a month. Many a times, if at all the compliance is to 100%, patients even lose 6 to 8 kgs of his weight in a month. And with this, every third day we have a routine to monitor his blood sugar and to check out whether his blood sugar is dropping down according to our plan or not. And based on that, we, along with several diabetologists, allopathy diabetologists, we have formulated a medicine tapering protocol for allopathic medicines. And now I am glad to say that not only people have copied the diet program, but people have copied, the allopathy people have copied the medicine tapering guidelines also. So earlier, we in our allopathy, we were taught only to prescribe medicines. We were never taught to de-prescribe medicines. But nowadays, if you go on Google and check for ACC, American College of Cardiology guidelines, for de-prescribing the antihypertensives and oral hypoglycemic agents, they have made it very clear that if a patient is reversing his diabetes, this is the protocol for reversing their tablets and insulin also. So Prameha as well as Hridrog is very, very easy to be treated if at all you look at it through the Ayurvedic point of view.
And so I am inspired by you. So you have worked on diabetes, cardiac disorders and lifestyle, obesity and everything. So now I have finished my post-graduation and I am motivated by you. Which disease should I go after, which makes me successful and money and business and also gives me satisfaction?
Okay. If money is driving you, then diabetes is the highest prevalence disease in our nation. And diabetes, the ticket size of a patient giving money to you is hardly going to be in a month about 1,500 to 2,000 rupees, not more than that. If at all you want still more higher ticket size, ज़्यादा पैसा निकालना है patient से, then kidney treatment is the high ticket value for a person who is business minded. There is no harm in being business minded. And if at all you are looking for a good status of yours in next 4 or 5 years, you want a Mercedes, then in that case it's going to be a kidney treatment. And if at all your target is a Mercedes as well as a bungalow, which is worth for about 10-12 crores in next 4 or 5 years, then the best disease to target is going to be cancer. So these diseases like renal failure and cancer, people have lost hopes. They will pay you anything because they are not paying money. They are paying for their father or their mother. So now it's up to you whether you want only money or whether you want the blessings along with the money. There is no harm in charging the patient for whatever you do. You should. that will give you that amount of confidence inside. You should charge. But when you charge the patient, you should know that you are morally responsible for the money that you have taken. If at all, at Madhavbaug, if at all we are not able to help that patient, we give him his money back. That we are sorry that we couldn't help you. We don't accept such kind of money where we are not able to help the patient. I would rather say that every Ayurvedic doctor should behave in the same manner, because it's not only about money, it's about answering him. When you go over there, answering him for whatever you have done on the earth. So, high ticket size diseases are many. Several of such heart diseases, several of such diabetes, cancer, kidney disorders, several of them are there. But if you charge them that much, your power of treating or reversing those diseases should be 10 times better than what you are charging for. So that is how you can decide which disease should you practice in.
And for those who are interested, how to reach out to you or how to connect with you? LinkedIn?
The best way to connect is going to be Dr. Hebbar. So I have only one person in Mangaluru, that is him. So he is the best person to be the best contact person in over here. And the reason why I collaborated for was because the amount of knowledge that he has, the website Easy Ayurveda, that has been incredible. The day I started learning Ayurveda from Google, I have mostly studied from Easy Ayurveda. You must not be knowing that, lekin that is the truth. Because hardly any documents were available on the internet about Ayurveda. Looking at his site, there are now several such sites which have come up. But I would rather say he was the pioneer, at least for me, to learn something on the internet, because he had posted all those blogs and articles on his website in such a fantastic manner that even though I used to search Terminalia Arjuna from modern science, his site used to come first. So there is where I learned that if at all everybody, whether you join Madhavbaug or not, whether if you join Easy Ayurveda and at least write one blog on his website, you can contribute for Ayurveda a lot. Baki rest, if at all you want to help Madhavbaug and their patients, you are always invited on the website. Just post your name and contact number on the website, query form, and somebody from our side will reach you. But the best contact person in over here is going to be the Dhanvantari of Ayurveda over here.
Okay. So, any questions? Anybody? We are into the last 10-15 minutes before we end this program. Anybody has any question, you can ask. It can be a very silly question, serious question, anything. So, while you are searching for it, can you guess the size of Madhavbaug in terms of money? What we call as market capitalization. Can you guess what is Madhavbaug's market capitalization? How valuable it is in the? You have to stand up and say loud and clear. You can say 5 crores, 6 crores. 100 crore. So now we have 100 crore in the, so at least there is there's a value. Any more guesses? So it is above 250 crores. You can figure out by yourself. So the next question to you is like, what does money mean to you? And fame also. What does fame and money mean to you?
Yeah, that's okay. Fine. Money, your question was what does money mean to me?
Yes.
Okay. Money means a lot. Money can get you everything. Have you seen that advertisement of, I think, Standard Chartered? That for everything else,
The money cannot buy you everything, but what it can buy, we are here.
there is MasterCard. Like for example, money can buy you everything. Everything. But money can't buy you a good sleep at night. If you do something wrong with somebody, money can't solve that problem. Money can buy you everything. Money can buy you everything, but not that love, that affection that you get from your parents, that you get from your friends, that you get from your family. Money can't buy that. Money can buy you girlfriends, boyfriends, and several other things. But money can't buy you relationships. So, earn good amount of money. The only thing that you buy money for, or else you earn money for, is to help somebody. If the money that you earn and you don't contribute your earnings part to help somebody, your money would get drained out. Utilize your funds to make somebody happy. If you do that, Lord Kuber will always be with you, and Lord Lakshmi will always be besides you. So money can buy you everything except the things that you need.
And then as last part we have rapid fire questions, so you are not given any time to think. Cricket or movies?
Movies.
Clinical
I am a
practice.
die-hard Bollywood lover. I watch each and every movie first day, first show. Whatever it is. In my school and in my college days, I also used to do mimicries. So I am a die-hard Bollywood lover. So always movies.
So clinical practice versus running a business.
The passion is going to be about clinical practice, but if at all I practice only for myself, I am not doing good. If at all I teach 1,000 doctors other than myself with whatever knowledge I have gathered, that clinical practice that individual doctor will do, which will generate business, I would always love that clinical practice which generates good business for everybody else.
Practice in a clinic versus practice in a hospital.
Practice in a hospital is much more challenging. Practice in a clinic is okay. Just hand over the medicines, talk to the patient, keep the patient happy, all those things are good. In the hospital, be ready for those challenges. I always tell my clinic doctors and my hospital doctors that if you haven't managed an emergency today, this day is the worst day of your life. If you handle an emergency successfully, you have done a great job. If at all a day is without any emergency happening in your hospital or else in your clinic, it's of no use. The day is wasted. You'll have to wait for the next day, which is going to bring challenges, because life should be full of challenges. The day you don't have challenge in your life, it's a wasted life. So that's how I love practicing in the hospital than in the clinic.
Meditation versus temple visit. Versus visit to a temple.
Visit to a temple. To be very honest, I have not visited temples so often, but I believe in God. I believe in all the Shastra, but I believe in one thing, that God is not inside the temple. It's only the idol of the God in the temple. I believe my God is in these people. These people who are going to help my patients, these are gods for me. I would like to visit these people first, and then if required, along with you, if at all you want, I will accompany you to the temple. But other than that, मेरा temple में कोई काम नहीं. And if at all you talk about meditation, I would rather give 1,000 marks to meditation. And what do I mean by meditation? Is not like dhyana or not like sitting in a single specific pose and thinking about something. According to me, meditation is about thinking about the best part that has happened in your life. The best thing that has happened to you in your life, just close your eyes, rewind that movie and watch that movie in loop. Again and again, again and again, again and again. 5 minutes of this kind of meditation to make your parasympathetic system active, blood vessels vasodilated, and the endothelium superb. So meditation, 1,000 marks.
Work-life balance or more focus on work?
According to me, more focus on work is equal to work-life balance for me. Because why have I been sent on the earth by Him? That's a typical, clear agenda that has been given by Him to me before I came on the earth. If at all I waste even a single minute and not do that task what He has sent me for, I will have to spend that extra minute on the earth without any purpose. So according to me, it's only work-life balance with a lot amount of work. Now it's up to you that how do you manage your family along with your work, keeping your work also happy, keeping your family also happy, because your family is nothing else but people around you, and people around me is my Madhavbaug team. That is my family and that is my work. So it's the same.
Working in preventive healthcare versus curative healthcare.
Okay, according to me, preventive healthcare is the advanced form of curative healthcare. Because today, if at all I am curing a disease, for tomorrow I am preventing some disease. So to differentiate between cure and prevention, it's very difficult. Like for example, even though you treat heart patients with chronic heart failure, with ischemic heart disease, a patient who was in absolute agony and pain, he calls Ayurveda treatment as preventive, even though you have cured him. And in spite of allopathy treatment, which he has used to prevention, he labels allopathy treatment as cure instead of prevention. So according to me, after 25 years of practice, I have realized one thing, that Ayurveda has been labeled by the world outside as prevention. Now you will not be able to erase that label in next few years. It will take a huge amount of time. So according to me, prevention is everything. Prevention is equal to cure also.
For an Ayurveda doctor, which knowledge is more important? Finance, knowledge about finance management, knowledge about marketing, or knowledge about people management?
These three knowledges are different. Okay. I thought they are the same. Okay. So, to be very honest, if at all you manage people, as the first question he asked was, what do you think about money? If at all I manage people, I'll have to manage them with money. Because nobody comes for free. So obviously when I have to manage people, I'll have to manage money. And if at all I am supposed to manage money, I'll have to manage the whole operations behind it, which will make me earn money, and that would need marketing. So according to me, all of this is the same. The most important thing for you as an Ayurvedic doctor is going to be, the first thing to learn is going to be market yourself. Many a times in Ayurveda, it has been taught that marketing is not to be done. I would say that is the worst thing that you must have learned. It's all about marketing. And marketing is not only about what you go and speak out in the radio or TV or somewhere else. Marketing is about what you talk about yourself. How strong, how confident you think about yourself, your product, your science. If you market your product and your science to yourself, you will automatically market yourself in the market. So marketing is all about having confidence in your own product, your own science. So according to me, as an Ayurvedic graduate, marketing is the most important thing, because marketing is all about talking to people. There cannot be any kind of marketing in which you haven't talked to the people. Your market kisko kiya? So marketing is all about people management. And marketing karne ke liye you will need money. So again money is important. So from wherever you go, all these three things are the same. They are not different. As a good businessman, as a good doctor, you will have to market, you will have to manage people, you will have to manage your finances. Maximum times a business, a company fails, not because of wrong marketing, not because of wrong people management. It's only because of wrong financial management. If at all your finances go wrong, you are finished. Keep an eye on your finances, plan it well, you will always succeed.
Mumbai Indians versus RCB. because we are it's an international hospital, so whatever you say will be recorded and will be presented in international justice.
So in that case, politically I will say RCB. But I am a die-hard Dhoni fan. So the leadership skills that he has are tremendous. Staying cool even in the last over that he is batting or is behind the stumps. The presence of mind that he has, the quickness that he has, absolutely superb. All those qualities is what every doctor should have in themselves. So if at all we need to have any idol in front of us, other than an Ayurvedic physician like these, it should be Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Looks like Dhoni needs some Rasayana Chikitsa these days. Very difficult question. Dhurandhar 1 or Dhurandhar 2?
I loved Dhurandhar 1 a lot. Dhurandhar 2 is also superb. But Dhurandhar 1 has a lot amount of different emotions packed in it. There is good amount of romance. There is good amount of action scenes. There is good amount of suspense. There is a good amount of thrill in itself. There is a good amount of adventure. So there are many emotions in Dhurandhar 1. Dhurandhar 2, it becomes predictable. We know Zaur Mistri is going to be killed. We know what is going to be at the end. The only thing in Dhurandhar 2 that made me think about was Rakesh Bedi, Jamil Jamali. That was a complete changeover. I never expected that. And the music that they used at that point, Tirchi Topi Wale, huge. That was superb. But Dhurandhar 1, I am a die-hard fan of it.
Dear doctors, interns and PG scholars, please.
Going to a vegetable vendor, you ask for maybe a brinjal. You ask for brinjal. What does this vegetable vendor do? He hand over the brinjal. That is how you easily explain it. Like for example, if at all a patient has come with Vata Vyadhi, with heart disease, with prameha, whatever it is, he has come to you looking out for some cure. Has he come to you to learn Vata Vyadhi, the 108 types of Vata Vyadhi? Has he come to you to learn that? No. Has he come to you just to listen one simple sentence? Ho jayega. The simplest thing is when a patient comes to you in your practice and talks about his disease, look out for every word. A doctor is a person who speaks less and listens more. If at all you listen to the patient in the right manner, you will come to know what is he asking for. Like for example, if at all he has come for Vata Vyadhi and he is saying, my knee joint is paining me a lot. Do you have a solution? Answer should be, yes, I have a solution. Within so many days, this will be cured. Good then. What else is to be done? Kuch bhi nahi. Medical practice is so easy. The problem comes in when our ego comes in between the doctor and the patient. Now it becomes an ego tussle. Now the doctor will try to teach the patient that how knowledgeable I am. I will try to explain him, this is Sandhivat, this is Amvat, this is that doctor I told you Amvat, this is Sandhivat, this is not Amvat. With this fight, the patient loses his patience and you lose the patient. Patient gives you hardly 1 minute because, as I told in the beginning, who is a patient? The one who is the most impatient is the patient. He will not wait for long amount of time looking for your answer. Your answer should be yes or no. Consider if at all you don't treat cancer. Clearly say, sorry sir, I don't treat cancer, but my friend treats cancer, he will do the best for you. I'll refer you to him. If that comes out, he will surely get enrolled with that doctor. But if at all you want to enroll the patient, take the responsibility to win as well as to lose. Whenever we are afraid to lose, our words change. We start speaking in mumbo-jumbo language. That, this can be cured, but you will have to do this. But you will have to do that. When this but sentence break hota hai, patient comes to know this person is not confident in treating me. He will leave. The day you start answering the patient, yes, I will treat you, this is my responsibility. Job is done, he will never leave you for his whole life. That is how the patient is supposed to be enrolled. Clear?
Thank you. Namaste, sir. Sir, according to Svedana Adhyaya, we can't give Swedha directly to the heart region. So, Mrudu Svedana should be given. So, the first session, as the session opened, you gave a statement that the sauna bath or whatever the steam, this one we have to give, Svedana, more than 39 degree for more than 30 minutes. So, in which exact cardiac disease did you imply this, sir?
Okay. Now, if you go down to your text, you will see that several places it has been mentioned that Svedana is not to be performed in Rudrog. And in several instances, it has been written in Rudrog Adhyaya also that Svedana can be given. Now, for these scientists, the Granthakar, were they not in senses when writing? We were. Like, we are supposed to, as a doctor, we are supposed to differentiate the term of Rudrog. Rudrog, as the definition explains, Rudrog is not only blockages. Rudrog could be n number of things. It could be coronary artery disease called blockages. It could be a myocardial infarction, which is an emergency. It could be a cyanotic heart disease. It could be a acyanotic heart disease. It could be a chronic heart failure. It could be an acute heart failure. It could be a congenital heart disease. It could be a myocardial heart disease. There could be several forms of heart disease. It is not been said that every form and every stage of heart disease you should not mix with. Swedan, according to me, is not supposed to be given during the active form of MI. There is where Swedan is supposed to be avoided, and the reason behind it is during MI, all over the body, the blood vessels have constricted to send maximum amount of blood supply to the heart, while Svedana will do the right opposite of vasodilating the blood vessels and reducing down the blood to the heart. So, according to me, Svedana is not to be performed in that acute phase of Rudra. But in the chronic form of Rudra, Svedana can be a part of it, because Hruday Rog, if at all you talk about, hypertension can also be called as Rudra. And many times, Hriday Rog, where the patient is in a chronic phase and he says, I have no symptoms, that also cannot be called as Rudra. So, identifying the definition is very important. Hence, ChatGPT cannot be a doctor. It has to be a human being to be a doctor. Clear?
Sir, after practicing 25 years, you find diabetes as a lifestyle disorder or a genetic disorder?
According to me, diabetes is hard and fast. Diabetes type 2 is a hard and fast lifestyle disorder only. Understand the difference between versus a lifestyle disorder, like the genetics which have gone wrong while taking birth will give you only the bad mathematics in your genetic arrangement. But in spite of the wrong genes that people might have acquired, still the game is in your hands to improvise the lifestyle and not let those faulty genes express. If you learn genetics, when I was studying, there was only a subject called genetics. Now there is a new subject called as epigenetics. What does that mean? Is which genes you let to express and which genes you let to suppress is important. A simple example, if at all I am driving a car and I bump the car and get into an accident because of my wrong driving lifestyle, will my son coming at that age will also do the same? Obviously not. So like this accident has been a wrong lifestyle or wrong driving style, diabetes is also a wrong lifestyle disorder. So every human being who has not been a diabetic since birth, I would say every other diabetes is a lifestyle disorder.
Good evening, sir. I'm very happy to see you, sir, first of all. I used to see your videos on YouTube, and even I used to scroll Instagram, I used to see. And first the question is, in the beginning you have told regarding the availability of the herbs and all, and the correspondingly you have given the example of Basti also. First of all, in our principle, when we any patients come to the Vaidya, we elicit the doshas first, and along with the whether it's a Amaja condition or Niramaja condition. If the patient is Amaja condition, if you give any medicines, it doesn't work at all. If you clear the Ama properly, any medicines will definitely works at all. But the thing is, sir, what about your this concept regarding Ama? and whether the bioavailability is needed or whether the ama pachana is needed more so. If you given the any medicines, extracted based medicines, and even the parenteral also we are given that medicines with the intravenously, if that medicines is worked also along with the ama, it is gives one of the other side effects along with the ama. If you didn't clear the ama, and that ama concept is there, sir. According to you, what do you think, sir, regarding the ama concept and the bioavailability?
Okay. You are absolutely right that if at all ama is not been cleared from the srotasa, it is going to invite problems. No doubt about it. So to excrete ama, you will have several techniques like Virechan, Vaman, whatever you want to do, you can get it done. Purify the body, sab dosha nikal, and then you can administer your now. With this question that comes to my mind is that this gallic acid which was absorbed in the blood on the 90th minute where the peak was seen. Now this can be a question that if at all this patient would have been an ama patient, would this gallic acid reach to 90 minutes to the peak value or not? Maybe it would have not reached to the peak value, maybe it would have taken 20 minutes. Something must have happened, we don't know. That is one. As well, even after, in spite of gallic acid going into the blood, maybe because of arm it would not show its actual benefit. So these are matter to be researched. I will not be in the right position to answer this as of now because I haven't researched this point as yet. But yes, this is a good thought for me to take over, and maybe in the next year if at all he calls me up, maybe I'll be able to answer you this question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, doctors, for such a thought-provoking and enriching discussion. So, may I now request Krishnamurti sir to summarize the session and also give some valuable inputs.
Good evening to all. I know that you people are tired, but I am very happy that Doctor of Madhavbaug, Dr. Rohit Sane sir has not tired. That is, it suggests the passion. A person who is having passion will not be tired. He is having the urge to satisfy the need of the lost person also. That is the cheerfulness, that is the energy, that is the enthusiasm we should have when we sit our profession. That is what sir told. We should make our profession with passion, or a passion as our profession. Untired effect and the continuity of our work with dedication. That is what sir told. We can't assure the health to every individual, but at least we can assure our best service. That is what we have to, it is a take-home message what I personally believe. And thanks for the opportunity to associate with the Easy Ayurveda. Probably in Ayurveda website total how many articles may be there? Yes, 9,000 articles are there in Ayurveda, Easy Ayurveda. I am very happy that 1,900 articles I have contributed. And he has paid me even for paragraph also. That is why I should be always thankful to him. And I was making the note because sir has given me the job of summarizing. While I was sitting with the Bide sir, I thought of writing regarding him. Vidvatta Kushala Karmatvam Jnana Vijnana Kautukam. Vidvatta Kushala Karmatvam Jnana Vijnana Kautukam. Anyatantra Vibhageshu Sadhu Chintana Gauravam. Vritti Bandhavya Prabhuta Sadvichara Parengitam. Now I will divide. I think I am summarizing this within 2 or 3 minutes. Vidvatva means wisdom or intelligence. Kushalata, aptitude or attitude, what sir explain. Karmatvam, skill. Jnana, knowledge, or it may be common sense also. Vijnana, specialized knowledge or scientific attitude or aptitude. Kautukam, the curiosity. Anyatantra vibhageshu sadhu chintanam, proper thinking regarding the allied sciences, what sir told. Maybe Jyotishya, Tantra, Mantra. Nothing is wrong, but we should be very careful while adopting it appropriately. Gauravam, the respect towards other sciences, including allopathy, homeopathy, naturopathy, whatever it may be. Vritti bandhavya, good professional ethics. Prabhuta, maturity or entrepreneurship. Sadvichara, para ingitam, sadvichara, good thoughts. And para ingitam, the ability or the interest to learn others or learn from others. Etat sampadya sampannam, that is the personality. Sane rohita samjnakam. Etat sampadya sampannam, sane rohita samjnakam. As explained, every aspect of the subject that it may be learning the things from the classics, adopting the things from the traditional practices, discussion with the people with whom you are confident, or the innovation with the things in which we are interested. Surely all will strive towards our goal. It may be money, because it is the ambition of every individual human being to get money. What we are doing with money we don't know, but we want money. Then we want to be very famous. That is, we want to be very famous. After becoming famous, everybody we say whether my name is the paper. Anybody has to know how many likes are there, how many has commented. And the day when 1,000 or 2,000 followers reduce or comments reduce, we will be in depression. And consideration as status. And see, money, status or position or fame. Beyond that, if anybody is working, what do we call him? He is mad. A person who is not thinking of money, who is not thinking of the status or position, who is not thinking of the fame, will be considered as a mad. Actually, he is a person who is having passion. We should inculcate that quality so that the matter in which we indulge, it should give pleasure. Ultimately, sir, what it knows, money is needed. Consideration of name or purpose, everything will be there. Ultimately, we should strive hard to enjoy the inner pleasure. The day when you are treating, it may be a simple gastritis, acid peptic disorder. You take 1,000 rupees, no problem, but assure that that will be cured appropriately of his satisfaction. Whereas when a patient is coming to you with a complaint of cancer, you tell, I don't know, but my friend is knowing, or he can be a better person. That day you will be sleeping with pleasure. That is that day's earning. Or you are taking 500 rupees, you are worrying, you will be switched off. You are not available because you know you have done something with wrong to that patient. I think these are the take-home messages from your healthy discussion, and people are required like Dr. Sane for Ayurveda. Today, everybody is criticizing, not allopaths. Ourselves, after coming to Ayurveda, we criticize our institution, our college, our subjects, our own medicines, and at the end, we say that this is not good for the time. Whereas Dr. Sane, like people, so many are there, one among them is epitome, and when they popularize, when they say that Ayurveda is having essence, there is a life, we can console. We need to appreciate the people like Dr. Sane, who are the torch bearers, because I think some of the shlokas what he has presented, even difficult to the clinicians or the people of Kaya Chikitsa also. That is only because of the passion they are doing. We should be always surrendered to for your effort, for your enthusiasm, and for the. I take some the future sessions, if possible, to lead us to an entrepreneurship, because it is a very strong area. We are having cosmetics, we are in nutraceuticals, some other strong areas are also there where we can work together. And thanks for the opportunity, thanks for coming over here, and I am very happy that tomorrow you are going to my alma mater, even Janardhan Hebbar's alma mater also, Koppa College. We seek more from you, Madhavbaug and Rohit Sane sir. Thanks, one and all. With the conclusion, there is a ending shloka in Ashtanga Hridaya. Bishajam sadhu vrittanam bhadram agavashalinam abhyasta karmanam bhadram bhadrabilashinam. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights. We shall now proceed with the felicitation ceremony as a token of our gratitude. May I request Dr. Hebbar sir to kindly present memento to Dr. Rohit Sane sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Sudarshan CH to kindly present the memento to Mr. Kiran Bide, sir. Sir, please come to his stage. Thank you, sir. On this special occasion, we, the members of Easy Ayurveda Hospital, wants to show our respect and gratitude to Professor Dr. M.S. Krishnamurthy. So I kindly request Krishnamurthy sir to graciously come on to the stage. I invite Dr. Chandrika to share a few words and highlight the achievements and the contribution of Professor Dr. M.S. Krishnamurthy sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ashwini. A very warm evening to everyone. As of now, till it's been 6 months that I've been a part of Easy Ayurveda, and till now, whatever I've heard about Dr. Krishnamurthy sir from Hebbar sir, it gives me immense pleasure. It is like double the thing that I had before this. Thank you so much, sir, for being here, and it gives me immense pleasure to introduce to you all Dr. M.S. Krishnamurthy sir, MD, PhD, an eminent Ayurveda physician, scholar, researcher and educator. Sir currently serves as the professor and head of the department post-graduation in Rasashastra and Vaishajya Kalpana, and also as a consultant physician at Alva's Ayurveda Medical College and Hospital, Moodbidri. With more than 17 years of clinical experience for which he has dedicated himself to, he is successfully known for treating many skin disorders, gastrointestinal disorders, and the other imminent disorders. And alongside his clinical work, Sir has contributed immensely to the academic world. He has also served as the Dean and has guided numerous postgraduate and PhD scholars. And he also has been an involved in academic bodies of RGHS Bangalore. Sir also is conferred with the national award, the Bharatiya Vijnana Parishad Puraskar in 2005. Along with this, we also have to know about all his scholarly contributions that he has extended into the field of Ayurveda literature. His publications include Abhidhana Manjari, Madhava Chikitsa, Rasachandramshu, Dhanvantari Mahatme, Basavarajiyam, Vaidya Sangraha, and Sahasrayogam. He is also the co-author of the widely appreciated book Easy Ayurveda Home Remedies, which is published from us. And in addition to his books, he has also contributed to over more than 75 research papers and articles in various reputed Ayurveda journals. Today, we are honored, not just, we are going to be honoring him, which he refused to, but it's okay. Not just an accomplished physician or academician, but also a compassionate healer, a dedicated teacher, a meticulous researcher, and a lifelong student of Ayurveda, who is continuously inspiring the generation of scholars and practitioners. Thank you so much, sir. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce you.
Thank you, Dr. Chandrika, for those inspiring words. I now request Dr. Rohit sir to kindly present the memento to Professor Dr. M.S. Krishnamurthy sir as a token of our respect and gratitude. Thank you, sir. To express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who contributed to making this event successful, I now invite Dr. Shilpa Ramdas to deliver the vote of thanks.
As we reach the conclusion of today's program, I have been tasked with the duty of delivering the vote of thanks. On behalf of organizing committee, first I would like to thank our honorable chief guest, Dr. Rohit Sane. Thank you, sir, for joining us today and sharing such an insightful topic. Next, I would like to thank Mr. Kiran Bedi. Thank you, sir, for your presence and valuable support. We extended a special thanks to Krishnamurthy sir for the guidance and support throughout the journey of Easy Ayurveda. A sincere thanks to Dr. J.B. Hebbar sir for hosting this program, and your leadership in the field of Ayurveda is an inspiration to all of us. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Mrs. Katyani Hebbar. She has been the backbone of Easy Ayurveda Hospital. Special thanks to doctors and students from Ayurveda and Karnataka Ayurveda Medical College. Thanks to our media partner, Mr. Harshit Balal and team, for your support. Finally, I would like to thank the doctors and entire staff of Easy Ayurveda Hospital for their hard work in organizing this event. Thank you once again to everyone for joining us and making this event a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shilpa. With this, we conclude the formal proceedings of today's program. Thank you all for your gracious presence. Dinner has been arranged. Kindly join us and continue our conversation over the dinner. Thank you all.